Welcome everybody here to the D2CL for a wonderful European evening. We have on the menu for you tonight the Alliance going up against the Balkan Bears. I'm Toby1, and feeling rather excited for most of the evening. Taking it down a touch because I'm not wanting to frighten away my co-caster. It's the first time he's actually been casting with me, so I wish him all the best. How you doing tonight, Blaze?
Doing really well, man. Looking forward to the match. Obviously, Alliance, they've had their ups and downs recently. Have been going up against some top-tier teams the past couple of days and had some pretty tough losses. But overall, they've had some dramatic improvements that I'm happy to see. And, at BBC, I'm happy to see them too. Of course, they're considered a lower rung tier, but I definitely think they have the potential to at least take a win here, and that's going to make the match very interesting. Trying to draw it out against a team like Alliance is going to look really good for them if they're trying to go into like the TI5 qualifiers. And obviously Alliance, they're pretty much already at least at that level, but might be able to look at an invite if they find some more success.
I'm almost certain the BBC will at least get into the qualifiers. And the primary reason is, even though their success hasn't been amazing of late, they did have some success in some other tournaments, like the MLG Pro League, for example. They managed to fight their way all the way through that and actually qualify for the LAN final through that.
Yeah, I was looking at that record, and that's just incredible how they were able to really do that well in that tough group.
And then they just fell off the rocking horse, and they actually haven't won a game in the last 15 days. So it's been a very rough 2 weeks for BBC. Their roster change has come and gone multiple times as well. They used to be known as like the Serbian team, and then it was no longer the Serbian team. Then it was the Serbian team again. Now it's no longer the Serbian team. It's more of this. I don't know. I don't want to say Romanian mix, but they've got a couple of Romanians inside their lineup. But either way, BBC, they've definitely got a lot to prove tonight, as you were saying with Alliance. They have had a bit of a rough run, but in the last week or so, since Sebastian has joined them, Alliance has just been going from strength to strength, and I really feel like they finally got themselves a solid leader again in Alliance.
Definitely. A lot of direction improvements, just overall movement across the map has been clearly improved, and also some good versatility. Fucking Mad and Alke both have a lot of potential just jungling and controlling the improvements in their golden experience in the early game, but they also play very gank-oriented heroes too. So whether you see them on an Enigma or a Chen, or you see them on the line and the Ogre, they're going to be taking the fight to their opponents at the time that of their choosing. So BBC have to be ready for that. For now, they're getting some good AoE heroes, so obviously a lot of potential magical and potentially pure damage coming in from the Lina. That's going to be a really good way to bring down a sniper if he goes for too glass cannony of a build. Like, if he goes for a Scotty build in the mid game, he'll be fine, but if he goes for like your Mask of Madness, just benefiting from battle trance and hitting hard type build, then he could find a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and you can see the way Yabsaw responds to that. Like, you talk about having a glass cannon kind of style of sniper and troll, and I was actually casting with Matt early today when we're doing the D2CL Chinese matches, and he's always saying if you pick something like a sniper, having someone else like a Treant Protector to give that living armor, to give that protection to your mid, is just invaluable. Like, you want to have something like that just to couple it up. At the same time, though, I really still want to see Alliance's supports to see how much space can be made between, like, that burst damage which you're talking about of the Lina, the Earthshaker's reach with his fissure, just how much distance Sniper can play with during the fights. Because I'm not seeing any distance closing heroes coming out from BBC. There's still Storm and Clockwork in the pool who are great up against the Sniper. Phantom Assassin earlier tonight, which Secret played and destroyed Alliance, but was also played earlier today during the D2CL, was a great distance closer as well. So that for me is the bigger question. How fast can Balkan Bears get up in the face of Sniper?
Definitely. But if they get that kind of hero that'll provide a little bit of a buffer there, then I think there's a lot of potential for Alliance's lineup. And I could imagine them actually going for the third pick for Nikwa's Clockwork. I mean, it's weird to go for 3 cores at the beginning of your draft, but if you look at the bans, there are very few supports taken out of the pool. Very recently, Ogre and Treant, obviously, and then you've got the Skywrath and the Wisp. But that still leaves a ton of heroes that Alliance could work with. The Venge, the Lion, the Chen, the Enigma. I mean, they could really work around that.
Okay, what's your money on, man? Corey S, Corlina?
I'd say Corlina. I mean, I love the core Earthshaker that Korok used to play, but it's been a long time since that's been popularized. I would say Lina definitely would be the mid matchup they're looking for.
I'm I'm kind of with you on that one because
It's going to be a Meepo game, isn't it?
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, with the Dazzle, I mean...
it might be. It might be, but if it is, I fear for Weeha. I massively fear for Weeha if he's going to be running a Meepo game. Because I don't see a way he's going to be able to deal with both the Troll and the Sniper and carry the rest of his team when you've got, like, Lina and... or Earthshaker as a core. More than likely it will be Lina if we just keep our eyes focused on the laning phase at least.
Yeah.
Lina up against Sniper is fine, primarily because he can play it in a way which I know God tried to bring it back a couple of months ago, but you get really aggressive up in the face of Sniper. SFs can do it to a point when they go Razors first. You just try and take all the life away from Sniper and know that one range nuke or burst damage, be it Slave or whatever, is capable of killing him, then he won't come in close. And in the early levels when he doesn't have high points of take aim, that's your point where you can shut down and potentially destroy the Sniper with also good rotations.
Yeah. Well, that's the question of rotations. Is the Earthshaker actually going to be able to get much done in this situation? Because for the most part, Sniper going for the right skill build, making sure Shrapnel and take aim is pretty well prioritized, and just one value point in headshot enables them to just keep the Sniper on his side, up on the top of the steps, and it's very difficult for Earthshaker to find the Fisher block. Sure, he'll get a stun out, but whether or not that actually is going to enable Lina to strike an LSA, I think is a different question. So I think Earthshaker might be helping out the mid a little bit, but mostly he's going to be focusing alongside Dazzle with the jungle in the bottom lane.
That's actually the first time I've ever heard someone call it an SLA. Which is
easier.
Which is really weird because like it makes perfect sense. Yet I never thought of it, and I've never heard anyone else I've cast would ever think of calling it an LSA.
Alliances turn to battle.
First time for everything, but yeah, no, I mean it's a very powerful stun. Like it's 7-second cooldown. Like it's gonna be able to chain up really nicely. But when you see it coming out that many times in fights, I just try to reduce the amount of syllables you put out there.
Meepo was banned, so you don't get your wish. I get mine though, which is the distance closer, which is the clockwork. I'm still feeling that BBC require a Blink Dagger and a Yule Scepter on this Lina before they're going to be effective at all as far as initiation. And I feel they got a massive problem with push power. Because if Alliance try and force this, they just get themselves a solid off-laner. I don't even care who it really is right now. Like you can look at the final hero of BBC and then think of a good hero that can match up against that. Because Dazzle and Earthshaker, they might cause some problems to a regular offlaner, but not much. And they go for a Slaughter. So a melee hero, another distance closing hero, which is dangerous up against a Vengeful Spirit. Really dangerous up against a Vengeful Spirit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely could work. Obviously, there's a lot of physical damage potentially in this lineup here. You've got the Dazzle Weave, you've got the Slaughter with the amplification of damage, so they're going to be able to dish out the physical DPS. The Lina will be inevitably approaching that pure damage when she gets the Aghanim Scepter up there. So I think the idea of BBC's draft is to force Troll and Sniper to buy BKBs. Maybe even the Brathram will have to buy a BKB as well. And at that point, you're getting to the point where you can be immune to their stuns, but the damage is still going to go through pretty much in full.
Man, these guys really want to get into the game. Almost little to no delay. So we have started ourselves off. Greeting to everyone who has bought themselves a Dota TV ticket and contributing to the D2CL prize pool. Big thanks to you guys. And let's have a look at our lanes. So no surprise whatsoever with Alliance. We're looking at a very defensive kind of build-up with Arcane in the jungle as the Chen, Mad as that Vengeful Spirit, puts Loader on the safe lane troll, Warlord, and Pyket to take the Sniper towards the mid, doing his normal little pick up a set of tankos later, and Nico gets to play the off lane while it's an Earthshaker down the bottom lane being played by Yapsaw, puts Slaughter as well as Levi Dazzle, who's going to be down here, to run the rest of the defensive tri-lane, and that puts Weeha in mid, and off-lane, bit of Mask. He'll be taking up that role as the Clockwork. Or Masak.
Yeah. Important thing to note is the ward that Nikwa dropped down was immediately scouted out. The Earthshaker saw Spiritbreaker's positioning, even with the boots movement down quick. Unless you go for the TP, it's hard to get a deep ward out, but that was a pretty shallow one, and it still got sentryed out. Ooh, Mascari walking into a trap. Ake and Loda in a perfect position.
Well, they even walked down into it. Now, Pycap actually got pushed back by the cogs.
Ooh.
So he was unable to get the shrapnel down. There wasn't going to be a follow-up. But they will get at least the first 100 rune. But bottom lane, Lena's going to get the same thing.
The battle.
Yeah, usually it's very dangerous when you're pincered in that hard and you've got 3 stacks of the shrapnel. It's a very powerful level 1 skill just because you get all charges at once. And I definitely thought they could have gone for the first blood, but Clockwork is a pretty hard hero to bring down with those cogs in that kind of position.
Maybe if Pycat started a little bit earlier with the shrapnel, they might want to hold him back. But at the same time, they were hiding in the trees, and they only moved when they saw him go down. By that point, he had the distance on them. So Pycat using all of his shrapnel instead to try and zone out the creep wave as well as the Lina. Clockwork's able to get it. He managed to block up the entire wave. The whole kit and caboodle, he managed to get caught inside the cogs.
Yeah.
And then holds the wave back perfectly too, so the range creep still ends up dying, which isn't the greatest thing, but it's just outside of range of his tier 1 town, so positioning is perfect for the clock.
Yeah, but look at Matt. He already goes level 1 Wave of Terror. He's got Boots of Speed, so it's going to be really easy creep pulls for him. He gets the first pull off, he's going to double it up, and he's going to fix that problem outright.
RK is doing the same thing, so downside about finding mud golems at the very, very beginning. But the stacks begin. And is this also the point too where you look at BBC and you ask the question, what can they really do about this? Can they do anything to really contest these pulls and the farming? Or do they just try and get something in return when they don't really have a jungler on offer? Weehaw, man, take more damage.
Yeah, well, Mascari's doing what he can. He actually body pulled over the dire creeps here. Only 1 stuck to the centaur, so Mad will get a little bit less farm here, but yeah, in the end, the Chen's going to have a pretty good time, and that's because of the lack of invasion. There are no sentries, there are no wards. Ake was ready to take care of those wards if they were indeed present, but he's getting pretty much free jungle time here, and it doesn't seem like Pycat needed too much assistance. They're pretty confident just with the Tango and Sav that he has that'll get to his necessary items at still a pretty standard time. Yapstar, though, looking for the Fisher, cancels the Sav, and that puts him pretty low. Weehaw, though, taking lots of hits.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with these shrapnel charges, and knowing that the Fissure is down, in fact, he's going to be baited in too far.
Oh. He's
still going to get the kill, but it was Zelina who got it first, which means first blood and experience goes the way of BBC. I don't blame him for doing it. The second that Fissure is down, you feel like there's nothing that's really going to stop you.
Yep, but Luna just tanks up a little bit too hard. Now she gets a TP to the front line with a bottle, and Pycat's got almost nothing. He's got the Wraith Band, some regen, but again, he didn't get the experience, so he is just dramatically at a disadvantage. At level 6, he's just going to have to lead the lane, I think, unless there's a big gank coming out with this smoke.
Which there is. Hello mid. Yapzor as well as Weehaw. Too far up. Mad starts with a Wave of Terror. Connects on both. He wants the Lina, however. That's the primary target they're going for. Lock him in. The Fissure's doing some nice work to slow down Pycat, but it won't save Weehaw's life. Pycat has enough damage. He'll buy up some nice boots. And Alliance early on the rotations, ensuring the cores that get harmed, and not just a couple of casual supports here and there.
And that's one of the really nice things about picking up the Troll Warlord early here for Loda, is essentially the supports can leave the lane anytime they wish, and he's still confident in a 1v1 matchup. It's not just the synergy where you get more headshots, more greater bashes from your Sniper and Spirit Breaker, and the hard synergy that you bring to the table there. It's the fact that these heroes are very independent. The Sniper is the only one they really have to keep an eye on.
Just want to flag before we get any further into the game. Guys, I know the game was a little bit of short notice. I say short notice, we knew about it 12 hours ago. But if you want to help try and share the fact that we are live for the D2CL live stream, head yourself over to your Facebooks, your Twitters, and let everybody know that the game is underway. Sometimes difficult to get a little bit of attention. So we just try and pimp it out a little bit more.
I like the early pickup of the TP scroll from Levi, though, on the Dazzle. He's going to be able to either rotate to save an ally in a separate lane, or in the worst-case scenario, he can Shallow Grave TP if no stuns are against him. That's going to be a rare occurrence, as Chen will usually bring creeps in that have some disables, but actually, it's going to be disables on Massacre up top.
Yeah, that's just a very simple move, and there's no point TPing in. By the time he reached it, he'd have to go in so deep that he'd probably end up just feeding himself. Shallow Grave or no Shallow Grave. This is problematic for a Clockwork. He's found a little levels, and that's fantastic. But this is where my concern was initially coming out when we're talking about heroes like Meepo or other things, because it just takes so long to get them up in the levels. And this Chen, with successful ganks as well, he's already up at level 4.
Yeah.
So
And level 7 Chen, this patch is just so deadly.
Yep. Nikwa, charge time. They keep the bash on long enough. So he'll die on the offlane. Yeah, but
Second kill on
this tower has to have its days numbered.
Top again, they're going to get some good damage on him, but they're not going to be able to finish it off. But just based on how low he is on HP, he's going to pop his salve, and they're going to kind of look to push here. They've got a lot of skeletons. They've got 1 point in the aura from Vengeful Spirit, and this tower's going to take some real hits.
Yep. The Cogs try and slow it all down, at least pushing back the Satyrs as Arcade. I don't know if it was more miscontrol, but either way. They start beating into the tower, and they have to bring in more support, and it's going to be in the hands of Dazzle. Unfortunately for him, his creep wave is not moving up too quickly. And loaded with the DD was able to take out a lot of the life points of that tier 1 tower. But with also help coming in from the Earthshaker, Alliance make the right decision. Just to back up, do a little range harassment, and leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm wondering when Nico's going to get involved, because we obviously know the timing of the clockwork. He's going to stay in his lane until level 6 comes through. He might be able to get something happening here on Loda if Yepsor actually commits to a fight. But yeah, Nico is the wild card. He can charge at any time he wishes, but so far just focusing on getting that solo experience. And as such, he's 1-1 and 3. He's going to have that ultimate at a great time, but I guess it's just because of the fact that his team doesn't need him.
Yeah, like right now, what's he really going to achieve that the Chen and the VS can't? Sure, he could charge himself over and around, but fighting one-on-one with the Slaughter, ensuring you find those higher levels and hopefully
It's
not
actually going to
get
be a dive
bashed.
bottom.
Yeah, there's your crush. With the amplification, Nick was going to go down. The support is TPing as quick as it can from Pycat. With the shrapnel and assassination, it's a guaranteed kill. This is the death of Slaughter.
And that's not too bad. I mean, it's your offlane level 5 Spirit Breaker. It was very unfortunate RNG on those bashes coming out, but in the end, Pycat's able to profit from it, and Nikwa can actually be the Enigma on the map now. He's charging from his fountain. So whatever lane he chooses to run towards, it looks like it's going to be top. He's going to be in a good position.
I'll check out middle right now, because we have first Magic Missile Stomp, follow up with the Centaur Stomp and the Satyr Blast, and they're going to get the kill. I thought it might have been problematic for the fact that Pycat TP'd down the bottom lane, so they ran out of the damage of the sniper. But seems not to be the case, and top lane is going to be a little bit more uncertain, and there is that charge coming in. It's going to finish the job. Already the Clockwork's put down. Nice vision from Yapsor. It's keeping him away. He'd love to keep the vision for another charge, but going to feel so denied there, Nikwa. First time he's really committed towards any kind of hero when he gets stunned up.
The Observer Ward coming out, kind of protecting this top lane so they can actually move into this area west of the tree line. Otherwise, it's just very dangerous. The Chen coming in, the Spirit Breaker coming in, and yeah, Ward very recently placed down already pays for itself. But Levi's sitting top, not able to really help Weeha on the mid lane. And I mean, 2 supports killing off a single solo mid is actually a really easy commitment for them. Now they're going to pop the Battle Trance up top, want this tower without the deny, and the charge is going to guarantee it.
Yeah, just run straight through the cogs. Nikwa now actually caught inside of those. Loda was coming in to help out, but the Chen army's already done the work, so Clockwork's down, and they're chasing after Levi, but they're not fast enough with Levi already been able to afford boots. But Alliance got what they came for. The tier 1 tower goes down, the Chen army's becoming more effective, and now that middle lane is a nightmare. Because you can't have a core with a great escape mechanism or a large amount of life points, which means you're probably going to lose the mid, and if they're not careful with the courier, they could even lose that one too.
Yapsor's going to take some real damage here. They will probably commit for the dive if they feel confident in it. There's a couple chain stuns, so the Creepway army isn't as strong as it could be, but even still, they're all pretty low and pretty vulnerable.
Here comes your charge. Primarily is so they can keep the perfect vision over on the Lina. She's not going to survive this one anyway. The assassination was starting up. In fact, it did finish down the Earthshaker as Loda was targeting him. And Alliance are moving just so well across the map at the moment. From tower to tower, BBC, it's like they're searching for the fights, but they don't have the skills yet to take these fights.
For how quiet bottom lane has been, I'm actually kind of surprised that Slaughter doesn't have his blink yet. That's kind of the thing that they're missing right now. They can take the fights with a good crush, but the Slaughter's just been PvE for right now. Finally TPing, but with no blink.
Where's that charge? The Spirit Breaker's still sitting in the bag. He's going to run himself through Levi. Where's that Shallow Grave time? He actually got knocked back, so there's no Shallow Grave. Loader almost being saved by Arcade. They couldn't pull him out in time. Either way, Nick was going to get bash after bash. They come in for the Dazzle. Shallow Grave's protecting him while the Laguna Blade will kill off Arcade, but his creeps have done the work as well as himself. Where is that charge from Nickwood? There it is. Assassination was also being prepared by Pycat. Nice last strike away from Weeha, at least stopping that charge. Pycat's trying to keep up with him. He'll get like one shot with the phase boots, and he's not even going to get that. they'll have to back themselves up. Without the troll, they won't feel as much confidence under the tier 1 tower.
Still a very profitable fight for them, and whenever the hook shot's on cooldown, you have to consider Alliance going for Roche. This team is insanely good at bringing down Roshan with just the battle trance alone, so the Rocket Flares constantly got to scout that general area and make sure that that's not going to be the play from Alliance, because that's going to give a huge momentum swing. That Aegis can turn into 2 towers really quickly.
I love the way that Chen picks into this with a buckler as well. This army from Alliance is just getting stronger before the fight even begins, without just having the passive regeneration. It looks like BBC is doing something with this smoke movement up around the mid. Unfortunately for them, all of Alliance are backed up. Lotus back to farming up a top lane. Looks like he's going directly into the Lotus style build, so SMY. Man with a medallion, Mask of Madness. It seems like all the boxes are getting perfectly ticked. Even the Spirit Breaker with an Urn and Strength Treads and 10 minutes in for an offlaner that died twice. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah. He's definitely above schedule on that one. He's moving forward very quickly. Pycat actually doing some good damage. Gonna go for the assassinate. Nope, that's a kill. The bottle is canceled, but 47 HP remains. So, creep army down bottom. All the while, just that Roche is the real target that I think they want. They need to get some good wards up, and they probably need to kill somebody. It should be kind of a 5v4 engagement to guarantee the pit.
So are you talking about BBC going in there, or are you talking about Alliance?
No. I think Alliance just have to kill one person, and they actually have a really good shot at it, because they've got the Hand of God now. They've got some really good heroes to take it down with the Battle Trance.
Because my only issue with Alliance is I'm still feeling like they're... Like, Battle Trance do some nice work, but the damage output isn't that brilliant. So even getting one hero, you're going to need a little bit more space around the pit to do so. And I'm wondering if that's even worth the risk, because you do have a Blink Dagger Slaughter, a potential hook shot in from the Clockwork. So unless your vision's really good across the Radiant jungle, it might just be better to not take the risk and just keep looking for these tier 1 towers and bring them down bit by bit.
Yeah, probably best to at least take one of the tier 1 proxies out, and that'll enable that objective later on. We actually have a solo smoke Weehaw going up top. He knows where Loda is. He's been seeing him on that ward for a while, but whether or not he's just going to jack this stack, or if he's actually going to be able to kill off Loda is a completely... Oh, well, it seems like he's just going to get the neutrals. Not exactly what he's looking for there, but I think they are pretty... No, actually they're out of smokes. That was their second to last smoke. They have one on the Earthshaker, and that is it.
Wow, way to burn through it all. Obviously a 3-pack a day kind of group. Alright, so the bottom tier 1 tower is getting forced. There is that smoke movement. Loda doesn't have any kind of lifesteal. Like, that's only in the hands of Pycat here. So I'm a little bit cautious.
They've got defense, man. Wave of Terror Medallion. The Roche is down to -4 armor already.
Yeah, maybe you won't even have to worry about having lifesteal, because it is going to be done so quick. And there's the Clockwork Rocket, so they know what's going on. But yeah, it's too late. They have more than enough damage to get through that. I severely underestimated the negative armor.
Bench is just capable of doing some wondrous things. They don't even need the Chen army to tank it up. It's just pretty clean and clear for them here at the 13-minute mark. Obviously, Roche not that strong then, but Levi also have...
That was perfect from Nikwa. He got a little bit of luck with the RNG, because he got the bash off and then went in for the charge roll. He just needed to control him so the assassination could connect. A blink to crush. He's able to control the Chen army and Loda. Well, there's your assassination in the form of Laguna Blade. Okay, there was no way he could save his teammates. And it looks like the Chen army's not looking gonna look too healthy either. So a great jump in from BBC.
Yeah, very, very key pick-off. And I think Alliance is actually pretty lucky that they put the Aegis on Pycat instead of on Loda. If they put on Loda, he'd just be dying twice there. There's still no opportunity to turn it around with the Spirit Breaker's mana and abilities on cooldown. So, yeah, they still keep the Aegis, and we'll see what Pycat can do with it. But it's a key victory for BBC if they're going to be able to bring this one back.
There's only 4,000 worth of golden experience to repair. I don't see a problem with this at all. Spirit Breaker's charging down at the bottom lane. Radiant Observer Ward, well, now she doesn't see him. Unless he ran past the middle before, and then he would have been scattered out. But decides to pull out of it at the moment.
So just a lot of stacks coming out from Mad. He's kind of pretty much just camping this ancient area and pulling this back whenever he needs to, and that's going to enable them to just clear that out, probably with the sniper. Obviously, the Troll Warlord is pretty good at it, but he's not rocking lifesteal right now.
Charging bottom lane. Nether Strike's back off cooldown, which is the reason why Spirit Breaker wants to try and attempt this. He doesn't have any help from range. In fact, he's just going to pull out.
But he's just keeping them on their toes. Like, they're not very confident in farming past like the just halfway between the tier 1s.
I think it's going to keep him on their toes so much longer. Now that Lena's got something like a Yule Scepter, Spirit Breaker's going to have a real hard time getting in there and initiating. This is probably also the reason why Nick was building directly into... Well, then again, is this going to be a BKB for him? Or would it be worthwhile just going for the SMY, just going for the normal stat-style build on this offlaner?
I would, honestly, my favorite build on the Spirit Breaker at this kind of stage is actually an Aghanim Scepter. You're still getting a lot of effective HP, and you get so much utility out of that ulti, but we'll have to see.
No. Blink, run away, left Levi for Deb, so the Nether Strike goes on him, and Dazzle, not even time for a shallow grave. They really just left him out high and dry.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be either the BKB or the Ags. I don't think Sanjin Yasha is the item when they've already got pretty much 2 in their item progression.
I know, this is Alliance. Like,
True.
It has Loda, he's the king of SMY.
Yeah. I mean, heck, look at Spirit Breaker's build. He's not even maxing Charge of Darkness. He's actually maxing the Empowering Haste here. He just wants to make sure that everybody can get into the fight quickly, and that movement speed advantage is actually going to do a lot if they're not blocked out by Fissure or Cogs.
Yeah.
And
It allows for Alliance to also play that kill one chase game. So you just move from target to target to target. You don't hold back. So you don't have to play this let's just wait out game as well. Because you can force underneath tier 1, tier 2 towers when you got just that high level movement speed and kill potential. For now, BBC are looking for the kill potential, a 4-man smoke. They're using Slaughter as bait on the top, while Alliance bring the rest of their crew in towards mid. So they might be feeling the BBC's looking for their side lane tier 1 towers, but at the same time, this tier 1 tower is down the mid, and they're already moving up north. Nikwa charging into the lineup. He's going to hit inside of Levi. He does have another strike available. He's going to get hookshot and have that cancelled. Loda trying to help out his teammate, which is trapped inside the cogs. The Hand of God can't even keep him up that long. Well, looks like Mad also TP'd up a little bit further. Pycat. Here's the amplification over on Mad, which is giving perfect vision for BBC for what's going on. But the swap Weeha! Look who to play the mech from RK. The perfect timing for him. There will be the Yules up into the air, but the Centaur's ready and waiting for that Lena when she hits the ground. So Lena and Dazzle down. Slaughter able to survive through the urn charges. There's no stun to kill off the clockwork, or to stop the clockwork from TPing out. So Alliance, they don't lose anybody, but they did gain 2. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah, they lost the Spirit Breaker, he bought back, and the Aegis was pops with the Sniper. So there are some losses there, but if they can follow it up with towers, they can shrug those off pretty well. The Spirit Breaker's not going to be really using the buyback that effectively in the future, so they're just going to go in, and this tower's going to fall even faster than Roche.
Unless BBC can do something about it.
I don't know. I mean, they've got the Crush, the hookshot's cooling down. Yeah, they actually have the tools to defend this. It's just the Glyph of Fortification that's going to be able to delay it long enough, but I don't know. If they tried to take it 4v5, that'd been a problem, but Weeha's respawn is still pretty short. He's only level 11 right now.
Either way, they get given a little bit of respect from Alliance. No Aegis, wait 2.5 minutes, he can come back up again. Look towards the other towers, there's no reason to force a fight. When your Hand of God's down, your mech's on the sidelines, yeah. Just play it safe.
Yeah.
Don't take any risk, you don't need to. Because the Alliance really can't afford to either. If you look at the D2CL as far as the standings for the D2CL, Alliance are not looking too pretty there. In fact, Alliance are pretty much down at the bottom of the rung. They have a 3-for-3 result currently. And they need a hell of a lot better if they're going to have any chance of qualifying for the D2CL LAN finals. Because Burton United's the ones who are topping the board. They're 7-1. Hellraiser's 5-1 as well.
So a win against the lower rung teams definitely is something that's just as important, in fact even more important for when they have to consider the opponents that are going up in the near future. But they're farming really well right now. I mean, they're 7,500 on Golden Experience just about, and they are about to approach that really good mid-game timing where they have all these stats available. Multiple heroes are hitting level 11, and it looks like they're going to go for a gank play, but the Rocket Flare scouts it out.
Oh, Yabsor, dead. Assassination's flying in. That Fisher is not going to reach far enough to stop the assassination attack from being done.
Tower is under attack.
Weeha just going for the LSA right on Nikwa, gets the combo, but the Hand of God keeps him up for a moment longer. Needs the Yules to set up the next one, and it should be the kill.
As he's looking for the Slave, it's going to miss. But he's got the movement speed still, and the Slave will be able to connect. Clockwork's going to hook through his corpse. At the same time, you're losing the Slardar. And in fact, he's going to swap in the Dazzle as well. So both Slardar and Dazzle try to play around the mid. But Pycat just stands on the high ground with the help of Loda. RK as well as Mad. And they get the return kill.
And this Spirit Breaker is really, they can take it as collateral damage. They can accept that as a loss and still accomplish exactly what they want to. They can take fights without him, and they can certainly push towers without him, especially with the fortification down.
Because all he's got to do is like charge into any kind of unit which is on the front lines when he's back up again, and he'll still be able to get back out to his teammates pretty quickly. He could TP to the tier 1 tower and still charge you to be there at the right time. So no problems.
Definitely. And that has some synergy with the Test of Faith. Mostly we've been seeing it used on Loda, but if they do see the Spirit Breaker low, take him out of the fight and send him right back in. But it's actually better to have the charge maxed for that kind of a play, because there is a big difference between the 600 and 750 MS it provides.
Well, right now he's only got 2 points in it. And left it at that. How long we got until Roshan? Actually quite a quick spawn time. It's only going to be 45 seconds or so left now. So no real problems. In fact, look at Pycat too. Can't believe the amount of money this guy's got. Over 10,000 in the net worth. He's about to pick up his Mithril Hammer, and that means only Recipe away from having a full BKB. Which means there's...
cleaning up the fights nicely. I mean, 7, 1, and 8. That's just set up perfectly by his teammates.
Yeah. It was a question about space, and the answer is he got it. He got it in droves.
Once the Blink Daggers come out, that might change a little bit. The Earthshaker's going to have one soon. Maybe Weehaw could look for it if it doesn't go for the Axe outright. And they could try to jump on him in the fights then. But as it is right now, there's just, I mean, there's an entire creep army with the Chen. There's the Troll who's always going to be in the front. And Spirit Breaker gets there quickly too. So it's really just hard to realize that although he's kind of the glass cannon right now, that he is the hero that you can focus in any capacity.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay, so BBC.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top lane playtime. They got a fresh item over on Weehaw. It's not the Blink Dagger. Instead, he's going to go for a Shadow Blade to try and slip himself
Dire's
underneath the
top
Alliance
tower
net.
is under attack.
Unfortunately for them, other Alliance are going to ping it out, but they've got a Dire Observer Ward that's
Roshan
watching
has fallen
this
to the
Shadow
Dire.
Blade take up, being brought up on the Courier. So they'll see it over on Weehaw. They may not care at the end of the day because they now have an Aegis Immortal over on the Sniper. So he's very, very well protected.
Is under attack. Dire's
Yeah,
top
it's a good ganking tool. I mean, she's just going in invisible so that you can get the quick Yules, Light Strike. But people are going to have BKBs pretty soon. Pycat's working on his right now. Loda, that's his next item. So once those BKBs come out, the combo is a lot less effective. And you'd hope that Weehaw would have this Yule Shadow Blade combo maybe like 5 or 6 minutes ago.
Dire's top
I don't think
tower is under
there was no real way to do that though.
Exactly.
With the way the mid lane worked and with how much presence he had to have.
Yeah, they're
In
cheap
the
items, but his game has just been so pressured.
Yeah. They'll at least able to get an injection of money now as we're just in tower trade-off time.
Radiant's bottom
Tier 2
tower
tower
has
lost on the top as well as the bottom.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And
Yeah,
now
but with the
being-
Aegis, I mean, they're not the ones that have to flinch in this game of chicken. If they want to go and start at least putting Pycat out there to get a few long-range right clicks out, that'll work fine. They do not have the Force Staff, though. They just have a Nether Swap to pull them out of Clockwork Cog, so they have to worry about that.
They're TPing in now. They waited till Nikwa got halfway across the map and then just started their movement. Weeha's going to Yule Scepter him up, so the downside about the Spirit Breaker with that happening. Assassination will give him all the vision required. Assassination into the tree line. Wave of Terror being the second set of vision, and Mad can't get the swap out in time, but Nikwa, he's just going to bash himself in there with that Nether Strike. We are locked in the trees, and he'll go down. There will be time for the Dazzle to escape. TP's out at the last moment, while Slardar looks to the mid. Amplification over on Arke. No mech on cooldown for 5 more seconds. He did not want to commit the Hand of God at that point, or at least he couldn't anyway, because he was just permanently bashed. Unable to defend the mid.
So, important kill, but still a 10-second BKB popped. He's not going to be ready for a fight for a while. And actually, Nigwas keeps going in. It's going to get Fisher. It's actually
blocked.
a really bad spot for him.
He's blocked. He can't get himself out of that area. Not unless Pycat. Well, actually, no, they don't have anything. Lena's not going to be kind enough to Light Strike array him out of that. Either way, they don't try and go for the kill. They just let it be. Until now, it's max armor with the weave. But it's only going to last another 2 more seconds, and Mad's already looking for the swap with the stun. The attack from range. No assassination. There's not enough mana over on Pycat. But the Clockwork, feeling that it might have been, just hook-shotted himself in to stop Pycat from getting the kill on the Slaughter. Throws away his own life, and now it's a Dazzle and a Clockwork down for the count. And Alina unable to find what he was looking for, which is Light Strike Array to slave to Laguna Blade to attempt to kill off Loader.
Well, there's where the move speed really kicks in. I mean, getting the Haste Aura along with SNY Phase, it's really hard to hit one of those ground target stuns. And yeah, now he's going to have the BKB to react as well, and they march to the high ground. This is where Ake's Test of Faith that he is able to arbiter his units to the front line is really helpful. He TP'd to the tier 1, all of his creeps were healing up in base, but now they were freshly healed and they're taking the tier 3.
Well, they get through this, and Pygat can just open up onto the racks. That's all Alliance really care about. Still objective-based gaming. You don't have to stall out this game any longer than it has to be. Unfortunately for them, though, that weave might be causing them some problems. Loader going to get hook-shotted in here, and Nikwa charges his way in. They do get the crush off, and stunning him up. Pycat needs to keep his distance. This BKB is nice, but it's not the easiest protection. Assassination. Okay, he's not even going to start it. Just looking to shoot down Levi. The Shallow Grave was what was able to keep that Slardar alive. But then, jump in, Echo Slam. He got bashed back almost instantly, however. It was not really the plan. He got charged, in fact, I think it was by Nikwa, and just got his body tossed backwards. But Alliance will take out the mid-racks. They can rotate to the bottom if they want to.
Radiant's middle barracks.
I don't think there's really that much to stop them because they still have the Aegis Immortal and Sniper. The only thing is going to be respect that stops them.
Yeah, just full reset for them. They can wait the next row cycle, and that'll be plenty of time for them to get their last items here. It is going to be the BKB for Nikwa, so that's going to be 3 BKBs very shortly for Alliance, and they're in a great position to close this one out with that last Roche, which, I mean, we'll see the spawn come out pretty soon, the timer. One thing to mention in that fight was Pycat was down to negative 20 armor. With the amplification of damage in the weave, he was somebody that could be considered flypaper if they could just get right clicks on him. But they don't have any staying power in these fights. The BKB is all Slider has to really keep him in it, and everybody else, the Clockwork, he went for a mobility build rather than like something that could tank up directly. So now he's going for the Blade Mail, but what's a Blade Mail going to do against 3 BKBs?
Absolutely nothing is the answer. It's one of those items where you have to look at the game and you have to look at the other heroes you're going up against. Maybe if there's someone you can fall into nuking you, that's one way you can approach. But right now, Arcade, he doesn't have Hand of God, but he did have that mech to go to work with the Whirling Axis. On range only, the charge is coming the way of Clockwork. Ain't thought he was safe. He had an Invis rune, but this isn't keeping him safe. In fact, they want this charge to last a little bit longer. Wait, can they do something about this? Okay, Shrapnels. In comes your charge. They bounce it back, and there's the dust. So they get the kill over on the Clockwork. And this now goes 25-11 in favor of Alliance.
Yeah, and with all that money, they could probably pick up a gem very shortly. And at that point, it's just going to be very difficult for them to control any facet of the map. They're going to not have the Lina Shadowblade initiation. They won't have the wards up. It just really comes down to vision right now that BBC can avoid anything. But they commit for something that they weren't ready for, and it feels like they're in desperation mode right now.
Assassination's on the way. Not 100% certain who they're searching for, is there will be the crush coming in from Slaughter, catching out Loader again with that hand of God having to be used to protect him. The SB, they're going to bash back. He could only go on the Earthshaker, but the Earthshaker was enough. The attempted heal wasn't close enough for the Grave. But the heal is not enough to keep that Earthshaker alive, while Lina to the trees.
Can you actually get him from there? We'll go for the Light Strike, but he's got lots of HP.
If Mum was turned on at that point, then maybe he could have. But he wasn't weakened by the Mum.
Or if Lina was level 16, that's the difference too. Like, I really feel like Weeha's build would work really well if he was just a few minutes ahead of schedule here. Like, he's close to 16, but he's not there yet. And he got the Shadowblade at an okay time, but so many BKBs were already out, and he needs that Ags to deal with those.
Well, he He's going to need the Shadow Blade again. Going to go
Now
instantly
dust
Invis,
there.
but you can just dust him. Nikwa knew it, and now Arke also moving down. Moves away from his own creeps. The assassination, the charge. It's everything you kind of want up against Weeha. But they never even fired the assassination. Saved the mana instead. So you got a 60-second window while the Lina is down. Zershika tries to stall them up. She's short by 100 gold of buyback. So this will be a 5v4.
Yeah, and they know it. They seem to understand that we have really starved for gold at this stage in the game, and they are not going to even wait for the Aegis. Sniper will stand the low gun and right-click, and it looks like Loda's going to man up. He's got a full 10-second BKB ready to roll, so as long as he doesn't stay near too many creeps for the Echo Slam, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, Alliance want to end this now. Looks like they might have also found another opening. It was Dazzle in the mid and the BKB from the Spirit Breaker. He's controlling up the Clockwork. In fact, he's also dragged up the Earthshaker while the bottom rank's been taken by Alliance. They can't go for the straight GG call at the moment, primarily because that top tier 3 tower, tier 2 tower and tier 3 tower still exist. So they can't just go for the top racks. And with Spirit Breaker dying, Alliance probably back up anyway. They just managed to take a second racks completely uncontested. They've just finished up their... Okay, that's going to be a 4-staff. And the Assault Cuirass is arriving pretty soon for Loader as well.
Yeah.
And Roshan just respawned as well. So
Yeah.
we're adding all this on top of each other to get to a point where Alliance have more damage, more life, and more stability than BBC.
Cheese Roast coming up really fast, and they can scout it, but how do they even get to that part of the map? They don't have a Smoke Deceit. The Shadow Blade has been countered multiple times over. I mean, they're walking under... they have a nice Observer Sentry combo here, but she's going to be scouted when she goes right into this juncture.
Okay. Creeps. Everyone wants to live, a creep. Pulls him back up a little bit late. Have to send him all the way back to base to heal. Either that or he wants to use his Hand of God. I doubt Mech is high on his list of things to use. Especially before the fight.
So, I mean, this is their last attempt. Do you think there's really any real chance if they get the right combo, the Fisher, the Echo Slam,
It's almost impossible. The only way I think it's really going to work is if you have the Earthshaker get a great Fissure on the lane when it's pushing in. Then you might just have enough spill damage to get the kills with a follow-up Crush, Light Strike Array, all that kind of jazz. And your team would have to start with the Weave up. Because you're not going to get everyone down in that fight, and you'll probably only take maybe 2 or 3 with you. And that's only if you start with high armor. And you still need a little bit of that end armor to get yourself away to safety.
And look at BBC's base. Like, all Alliance have to do is play a waiting game. The longer they wait for the Roche and they have this stalemate here, the more BBC's base is just obliterated. All the effigies falling, tier 4 is taking damage. Yeah, Attila has to make the move with this double damage, and it's going to be them to get the jump. As long as they BKB before these abilities come through.
Well, it just turns the BKB on. Slaughter has to back himself up, but you've got your charge coming in and Weeha, Sniper, just Daedalus crits down the Lina. And I think this game is over, man. Like, they're losing Roshan. They've just lost the Earthshaker. Lina might have bought back. But the tier 4 towers, one of them's down to 224 HP. In fact, lower than 200 now. And Alliance just got their 3rd Roshan. So Aegis and Cheese is available to them. They can just go for the GG push. There's not even a need to go through the top. They can if they want to and get Megas. I don't think much is really going to stop that. But primarily they should be looking at kills, and Weeha! Oh man! That's what happens when you get such a heavy crit item over on a sniper this early on. It wasn't even with a big amount of damage, and there it is. GG, well played. Rightly so. This game was kind of over 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, just been working that way there, but I mean, you got to be impressed with Alliance's movement in the early game there. The Chen and the Bench did the work of like 3 heroes there. They were able to really control the top and the mid lane the way they needed to, and obviously Pycat just got cold. He was top of the net worth for a long time there and was able to just stay back the entire time. If BBC were able to just get some kind of stimulus package there where they could really bump up their item set by 1, I actually think they could have taken a lot of fights this game, but instead it's 32-12 in a 33-minute game.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to like the fact they never got that stimulus pack you're talking about is because the Alliance timing was just so good. That's what happens when you give them a Chen. They push down towers. They have a Troll Warlord. You know, you're just going to continue to take towers. They get the perfect combo of Troll and Sniper, so you've already found your extra damage output. I'd like to see a stronger draft from BBC in the next one. But it is a 2-game series, so we'll see what happens. We'll have ourselves a short break, and we're back here for Alliance vs BBC, game number 2.